Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualised NZ. Hope you're all well today and having a great day. I've had quite a busy day. I'm late doing my video today because I subscribed to a whole heap of YouTube channels that I hadn't come across before, and I went through and watched a video from each one and left a like and comment on them. And got inspired along the way, which is absolutely fabulous. After all, that's why we watch YouTube, to get inspired, to learn new things. And I have seen these tags that I've got in front of me done before. I cannot remember who, but I know I've seen it before. But I'd never made them, and I was watching a channel, it's called Be Reborn Art and Healing. I don't know if you're able to read that, but I'll put it in the description box anyway. So I was watching her channel and she was making these, and it was like, yeah, I really want to make some. So that's what the video is on today, is these swing tags. So it's 3 tags that are attached with a brad, and each one has writing space on the back. So to write on them, you just swing out the one you want to write on it, and then swing it back. The only brads I've got are these star ones, so I have a feeling I'm going to go through them rather quickly, so I might have to purchase some more brads. So it's a 3-layered tag of 3 different sizes of tag. Now I cannot remember the name of the lady on that channel, which is super bad, but as I said, I watched a number of videos this morning. It's almost afternoon tea time now, so it's taken me most of the day to watch videos, comment, like them, and make up a sample and prepare some bases to work on. I've done the time-consuming part on these ones, so I'm not taking up your time, because you know how to cut paper and glue it and all that sort of thing. So I didn't want to do that on camera and make it super long and boring. So this one I made completely. It's finished. There's a few differences to what the lady on the other channel did. She distressed right around all the tags, and in my keenness to get this done, I forgot. And actually I don't mind. I think this one's quite alright without being distressed. I've used 3 different types of scrapbook paper, whereas she used a digital printable. 1 sheet of digital printable, so they were all coordinating from the same sheet of paper, or the same kit at least. So this back piece of scrapbook paper and this top one are from the same paper pack, so they coordinate, and they've got the same distressed pink in the background. And then this one's a different one. It's actually a heavier cardstock as well. And it's, I don't know if you can see that pretty shine, it's flowers that are embossed with this glittery stuff, or glitter, whatever it is. It does come off every now and then, so when I was cutting it, I got little fragments all over my desk. But I thought they worked really well, and it's definitely in the pink. So I went with pink lace, and then a label. These are new labels that I've just printed off. I purchased on Etsy from 9 of Crones. So the digit 9, number 9, and then of Crones, all run together. Interesting name for the shop. I'd love to know the story behind that. But that's those labels, and I really, really love them. They're super cool. A bit of book page, a bit of music, and this lovely image was a painting. I can't remember, I didn't take too much notice, but I cut it out of an encyclopedia, a 1950s encyclopedia, and just fussy cut her out of the background of the painting, and I think she is really lovely. So that's that, all complete. When I did this one, I forgot the coffee dyed paper I backed it with was a notepad from a business, and it had the business text and things on it, so I just used a bit of washi tape to cover up the text, and then to balance it out added some more. And then I realized that there was some also on the next size down, so I covered that with washi tape, and then just for fun, I added some on the small tag as well, just so they all had that. But don't necessarily need to put anything on the back. This is a circle punched out of the scrapbook paper to cover the back of the brad. So that's the complete one. I've done 2 bases and I'm going to work on the third to show you how to put it together. So this one I've made out of atlas paper, out of a French atlas, which a friend gave me just last week, I think it was. So I've used 1 sheet out of the atlas because it's a really big one. So I was able to get out of actually half the page, I was able to get 3 tags. And it's all off the same map. I did use alternating sides, but not that you can tell because it's all been coffee dyed. And again, I've used some washi tape to cover the text. Only on the big one, I think. Yes, only on the big one. And then I punched some of the atlas page in a circle, and I did 2 of them and then glued the 2 together to sandwich it because it's quite thin paper, and then glued it on top of the brad just to make it sturdier. The other thing the other lady did was she stitched around all the tags, and really nice, and ordinarily I probably would do that. I just wasn't in a mood to set my sewing machine up, get the trestle table out and all that jazz, so I might do it on the next one I'm going to show you, but I can't do it now once I've sealed the brad closed, unless I rip it apart, and I don't really want to do that. So sewing around does look really nice as well. So that one I'm going to decorate on camera. This is the next one I worked on. So this was 1 page out of a garden book, and it was a full page illustration or photo that had 3 lupins all together side by side. So I managed to work it so that I got one of the lupins on each tag, which I think is quite cool. As you noticed, this one and this one, not so obvious this one, but I have distressed these on the front and the back. Again, bit of washi tape to cover the text and bit down the side just for fun. I haven't done the cover for the brad on this one, and you don't have to do a cover, it's just personal preference, or it's something I think is a finishing touch. But if I want to sew around this, I need to be able to take the brad off to sew around them. So I'm going to leave that until I decide whether I'm going to sew them or not. So I'll decorate that one. Hopefully I've got time for all this. And then this one, all I've done is cut the bases. So this is more of the cardstock that I had left over from a project that I've been using recently. And I'm quite pleased, I'm getting through it. I've still got some to go, but I am getting through it. So it's really good. So for my big tag, I've gone with a measurement of 9 centimeters across by 19 centimeters. Don't ask me why. It's just what looked good to me, so I went with it. And then the next tag down is 7 centimeters across-ish. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. And then same with the small tag, 5 centimeters, give or take. The length, I just eyeball it and trim it where I think it will look good. So that's those. So I'm going to show you the cutting the corners, because I like the corners on the tags to all look the same. So all follow the same line. So to do that, I start with the big tag, make sure I've got the side I want up, and I just eyeball where I want the corner to be, flip that bit that you just cut over and align it with the opposite corner, and then trim along that. Right, now I discard the bit I just cut off and keep the original bit, and then I line it up on the corner of the other two, and you'll end up with the same angle. So again, discarding the bit I just cut off, keeping the original one. That way that's not going to be like Chinese whispers and sort of grow different with every cut you make. If you keep the same original one, they're all going to be very similar, that you wouldn't notice any slight deviation. And then the last one. So I really like this trick with the corners. It just makes it quick and easy. So for this one, it's all, the cardstock's all from the same pack. It's just got different designs on it. And then you can throw away your first corner that you cut as well once you've done them all. So that one I've done a wee bit too deep, and it's left just this tiny wee bit top on the small tag. But once you've got them all together, it's not going to matter at all. So I'm just going to quickly ink around those. These ones I'm not backing because they are a cardstock, so I don't feel they need the added thickness to make them sturdier, unlike the atlas and the book page, which needed it for writing on as well as to make the tags a bit sturdier. But this has got writing space on already, and it's nice and brown, being craft, so I don't need to add any coffee dyed paper to the back, which is great. Eliminating a step is all good. Don't do things for the sake of them, do them for a reason, unless you feel like doing it, and then that is a reason, just because. But if you do it because you think you have to do it, oopsie daisy, I just swept it off under the desk. That was a bit silly, because it's not going to be easy to get without knocking the camera or falling off my chair, which would be very interesting. And I use the term interesting in a painful way. And I'm getting lots of little crumbs from this. Still haven't changed out my sponge from when I started doing these videos. And it's getting worse, I think. Also, this is cardstock, so it's a bit rougher on the sponge. So I'm just going to wipe off all those crumbs. Whoops. Let's get my dry wipe here and scoot those off. Oh, all over the place. Right. Oh, I didn't do the front of that one. Could do that. I was about to do it off camera so that all the crumbs went on the floor. But then I thought, you won't see that. So, not that you need to see me inking all the edges. It's quite straightforward. You don't really need to see me brush all the crumbs off either. Oh gosh, it's terrible. Hopefully I'll remember to change it out before the next video. Right, I am going to attempt to retrieve the other one, so if I knock the camera, I do apologise. And my chair is creaking as well. Oh, I just got it. Sorry, my hair caught on the cord and pulled the whole thing over. So I almost made it. And hopefully you're still in screen with everything. Hopefully it didn't alter the angle of the camera. Right, so now I'm going to punch the hole for the brad, and I use my awl for this. You can use whatever pointy sharp tool you like, or a hole punch. A hole punch will leave a very large hole though, but if you cover it over on the back it won't matter, and if your brad is large enough to cover the hole on the front it won't matter. So play around if you don't have an awl and see what works for you. I do love using an awl. It's a very, very handy piece of equipment, and it only cost me $5 or $6 from memory, so not too expensive, and I've just used it a lot. So punch my hole using my foam to catch the point, and then taking the brad, putting it through the hole, and then just separating out the two arms on the back like so. And there Oh, not scented. Oh well, never mind. Handmade, imperfect. Doesn't change by turning the star around. I thought it might if the star wasn't quite centered on the arms of the brad. There we go. The other thing too, now I had it in my head, what was I going to say? Oh my gosh, I think I definitely should do my videos in the morning when my brain is working slightly better. Right, the other thing, that's what I was going to say, is when you do glue over something over top of these, don't swing your tags before the glue's dry, because as you move it, see the arms on the brad move? So if you move it before the glue's dry on your cover, then it's just going to separate the glue off and not be good. Whereas if you wait for the glue to dry, then the brad will actually stay in place and only the tag will move. So that's another little tip to remember. Don't be tempted to swing them before the glue's dry. Right, so now time for decorating. So they come together quite quick once you've done all the cutting and got them to a certain point. Right, I'm going to grab my alcohol-based Helmar craft glue, which I love. It sets quickly and it's got a really good hold. Now I've picked out some laces for the bottom and I've got to remember which way round they go. Okay, so this one, it's got a ribbon through the center of it. It's really pretty, and I thought that goes with the lines on the map quite nicely. So I'm just going to trim it to size. Oops, I think the scissors might be getting a bit blunt. Okay, and I'm just trimming it quite approximately, so I'll trim off any overhang I may have at the end. Because you can always cut it shorter, but you can't add length to it. Okay, now you can dangle it off the edge. I'm not going to. I'm just going to glue it so it's level with the bottom. With this one, I did glue it so it dangles down slightly, if you can see that, just ever so slightly along the bottom. Depends on your lace what will work. Right, I need to make sure with this particular lace that I glue the ribbon down as well, otherwise it will come out of one end. Got a bit of dry glue on top. That's better. No, it's still not coming out. There was a bit of a big old glob stuck in there that was dry. There we go, that's better. Oops, glue strings. I'm just going to lay that across the bottom, and I will need to trim up this one. Like so. Next bit. Just making sure I get that midline as well for the ribbon. Oops, that bit of lace goes on top of the ribbon there. Might have to add a bit more glue, I think. There you go. And the last bit. Right, make sure it pops out the hole where it's supposed to. And I think that way round, I think. Sometimes it's really hard to tell which is the front and which is the back of lace. And the satin ribbon in the middle is double-sided satin ribbon, so that didn't help me work out which way round it was supposed to go. There we go. Right, I'm going to do all the laces while I'm here and got the glue out. So it's a little bit of a small mess to make, I guess. Right, I've chose some purple lace. I don't know why I put scissors away. Purple lace for this one because the lupins are purple, purpley blue. And I couldn't be bothered digging for my bigger container of lace because it's buried at the moment, and these were handy. So I thought I will make them work. And this, really like this lace, pretty lace. It was a good op shop find, probably a year ago, I think. Probably on my birthday last year when I went to my favourite op shop. So it's quite subtle on this because the book page is so heavily patterned, but I don't mind subtle. It's probably easier to see in real life than in the camera. And I do so hope you're seeing everything, because I don't want to have to turn around and have to re-record this video. I have to make a whole lot of more bases and go through it all again. I'd get a lot more done though, wouldn't I? I'd have double the quantity. There we go. I've got glue all over my fingers, and I'm just going to leave it separated to dry. And for this one, the craft one, I've got this, it's the same design as the purple lace, but this one's in a apricot-y colour, which I thought might work nicely with the craft. Hopefully this isn't too boring just watching me glue lace on. At least it's quick. Right, there we go. I always amazed at the price of lace between op shops. You can go in to some places and pick up a whole roll like that for that. This colour was $3 I paid for the roll. In other places you go in and they've rolled it off the roll and bundled it up in little 1 or 3 metre lengths depending, and priced it, and you can pay $3 to $4 for just their smaller quantity, which I guess is still not bad if you were buying lace at a haberdashery, a dressmaker's shop. But you know, when I know I can get a whole roll for $3 instead of 1 to 3 meters for $3, well, I think you know which one I'm going to choose. And why wouldn't you go with the cheaper option, unless it was a really cool lace that you desperately needed. I do like that. I think that's very pretty. Okay, now comes the decorating. So I've got my glue book here, glue stick, and I've got my usual suspects of neutral book page and music and things like that for layering. And I've got just a small selection of fussy cut images to choose from, so hopefully I can find what I want. I've got a fussy cut mushroom from a digital kit from Etsy, and the owner of the shop is FarMirage. I've got one of the flowers from Artzology, and that's printed at half the normal size. This round one from a digital kit, it's a kit I've had for a number of years, so sorry I don't remember where that one came from, and I think it's either an expired kit or a bundle of ones that weren't put in kits, and I can't remember who it was. I've got a fussy cut bird out of the bird guide that I'm currently cutting up, a mushroom fussy cut from an encyclopedia, and then these two lovely etchings out of an encyclopedia as well, which I thought were rather lovely, and I thought one of those might suit the front. I think this one might be a bit wide. It would just fit. I do like it. It's rather nice. I do like it. Oh, decisions. Can you tell me which one do you prefer? Or that one? And that one needs to go up a bit, I think. I think I'm going to go with this one and save this one for somewhere else. It is really nice though. I'm still torn. Do I want anything behind it? I think I'll just put that there. I actually like it by itself without anything behind it, but I'm just going to layer it because I feel like I might come back later and think, oh, I should have put something behind it, especially because the background's quite busy. I know that's adding more detail, but it's forming to break up that underneath pattern. And I feel like that needs a little bit of glue under the edge of that lace. I'm just going to run another little line across the top there. The others probably need doing too, but I can do that later. There's a lot of colour in the Atlas page, so I'm not worried about adding colour. I think this black and white print looks really nice. Doesn't really need any additional colour. There we go. I didn't even distress the edge of it. Right, do I need anything else? Could try a wee label. I'm thinking these wee pharmacy labels, which are a freebie I found on the internet, so I can't tell you where, because it was just a random search and I came across it and free to use in your creations, and thought, yep, printed them off, closed it out, and forgot to write down where they came from. Yeah, just put that wee label at the top there. And again, it's neutral colours, so it doesn't just breaks up that map background a bit more. Now if you wanted to, you could go and decorate the other tags. All I've done with the other tags is add the lace, so I need to give that a bit more glue too, I think, or trim it off, one or the other, but I'll do that off camera. So that one is, I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to call that one done. Okay, this one. Okay, I thought because this is a nature theme, either the bird or the mushrooms. I think, yeah, don't like the flower. It's too many flowers going on. Oh, slightly too wide. It's interesting. Smaller mushroom. That could be cute. Or a bird. I think the bird blends in too much, doesn't it? And I'd have to layer something completely behind it and I'd lose the flower. So I think the wee mushroom it is. Just goes to show size does matter. Too big is too big. This is a little strip of I cut off when I was cutting out those etchings from the encyclopedia. So I thought, yep, I can use that. Don't want to totally cover that flower though. Quite like that. Let's try a label with this one. I'll go with different. These are my new ones from 9 of Crones, 2 different kits, and they're both wonderful. Really, really like them. It's different numbers and words and yeah, fonts, just very cool. Oh, I quite like that. That's fun. That over the top or underneath? I think I like it underneath. I think. Oh gosh, I do wish you could give me feedback in real time. No, I might put it over top actually. Right, I'm happy with that. It's not super complicated, not a lot to it, not many elements, but I don't really think it needs it. And with a busy background like this and the atlas, you really don't want too much going on. Right, just going to re-ink that edge a little bit. There we go. And my wee label. These labels are cool too because they're in all sorts of different colours, all with a vintage vibe. So it's really nice to pick out ones that work with your project. There you go, and the mushroom. I might just give the mushroom a little bit of distressing. Oops, I've bent the stem. Oh well, won't matter once it's glued down. As long as I don't rip it off with the glue stick. Just use my card to smooth that down. There we go, and that one is done. Now that I've decorated it, I'm not sure whether I'll stitch it because I'll have to stitch over top of the mushroom. Oh, I will decide that later. Right, and the last one, the mushroom might, I would have to trim off a little bit, but that would be okay. Oh, yes, I do like the birdie. Because this is plainer colours, I think the bird really pops, whereas the mushroom is brown on brown. Cool, I like you, birdie. You're very cute and colourful. This is a bit of a book page out of a Bronte Sisters book. Do I want to go straight up the middle? No, I definitely don't want to go straight up the middle. That's too tall, that's what's bugging me. Trim it down a wee bit. And I think I want some music. I might just put the music sideways. Oops, that's got a hard edge on it, so I'll flip it round. A cut edge is what I mean. So flip it round and put it underneath. That will hide that cut edge. Oh, it's not complying. It's won't do what I want it to. Yep, I like that, and I'm thinking a label, but I wanted something round and I don't have any round labels. Let's try. I know this isn't round, but it might be okay. It's my stamped numbers. I've got 2 different sizes on this one, and a bit of the backing of the paper, so I'll just tear that off. Yep, I don't mind that. I think that works fine. Because these things are all quite neutral, so it allows the bird to really stand out. So I'm going to start with that bit of music paper. I have no idea how long we've been going, guys, but it's going to be done relatively shortly. So really enjoying these. I think they're fun to put together, very effective, and I'm going to enjoy popping them into journals. So this means I'll have 4 done, which I think is not too bad. Right, my glue page is getting a bit sticky, so don't stick down, bird. Don't want to rip you. I thought about inking around the bird, but I decided I wasn't going to. And the number, which I might just see if I can tear, because it's got 2 torn edges and 2 straight edges. I'm just going to try and tear off the, oh, this one could be a bit tricky. It's not much space down the bottom. Oh, yeah, that'll do. It's right up against the one, but that's fine. It is fine. Like so. That one I still do have room to sew around the edge, so I might sew this one. I might not sew this one. I still haven't decided. So they're all done. I need to go and trim off the edges of the lace where it hangs over. Finish up the covering the brads once I've decided whether I'm sewing or not. And that's it. So I've made 4 of them, and I'm really pleased with how they all look. They're all completely different, will suit different journals, and yeah, really happy with them. So I hope you enjoyed this video, that it was useful, that you perhaps were inspired to do something similar, make them your own in your own way. Yeah, so I'll leave it there for today. Hope you're warm and you're happy. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.